All right, here we are. Type F3 if you can see me and hear me. Guys, we're going to go over something crazy today. Crazy. Like, to the point where you're going to be like, where did you learn this, bro? Marta, what up? Marta's, like, literally my favorite person at RLT. Literally. I'm sad we didn't hang out more when I lived in Florida, Marta. All right, guys, I'm gonna allow just a few more minutes for people to get in here, and then I'm gonna show you a day trade I took today that honestly should be illegal. All right, we're gonna start on ES, okay? I'm gonna take everything off my screen, and we are going to do this now. In fact, I'm gonna record this. This needs to be recorded. Hold on. Start recording. All right. Gotta save this. Okay, guys. So I want to go over this day trade I just took. I'm just gonna make sure the screen's nice and big so you guys can see this. Okay. Now, we're going to start on ES. Now, obviously today we had a big breakout. Things are starting to look bullish again. We shouldn't really be surprised because we came down and interacted with the 100, and now we're bouncing off the 100. Almost got to the 200, not quite. On NQ we did. On ES we didn't. Now, a level that I've been looking at for a while is this neckline right here that we're at right now. So if I take, obviously we have this wick, we have that little baby wick, this wick, this wick, this wick, right? I want to go over as many touches as possible. So I'm going to put the neckline right there. Now, some of you might say, oh no, it's down here or it's here, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, some of you might even say it's up here. But for me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's enough. So I've had my neckline drawn here literally for a few days now. So we're going to go ahead and just name this the big daily neckline. Okay. All right. So how did I do this trade? Now, let's just drill into a 3-minute here. So obviously market, we got the news at 8:30, market opened, and we've just been ripping all day. Okay. So I'm going to throw the 10 EMA on. We know the 10 EMA rules. First bull candle to close under the 10, right? And guys, honestly, the 10 EMA longs today were great, but for me personally, I was in swing calls on TQQQ, and I've just been kind of closing them throughout the day. I actually still have one that's running, and I was actually looking for the short. So what I want to point out here is something very specific, okay? And it's this. When you see price action like this, it's usually robots, okay? It's usually algos. And I'll drill into a 1 minute here so you can see too. Like, it is just constant buying. Like, they're just bidding it up, like bid ask, right? Now, some of you might be like, oh, well, we saw that back here as well. Yes, we did. Okay. But the reason I wouldn't be as interested in this trade as I was at the one at the top is for a couple of reasons. One, I don't have a big confluence on the daily, and I always have to look at the daily. Also, this was trying to take over a previous high, so not as interested. This one, though, screaming, just absolutely screaming into a crazy new high, right? Not trying to overtake one like here. You could say, oh, we'll try to overtake this one. I know, but just look how it screamed and just kept screaming up, okay? This is something that I don't even know who it is. It's probably like big banks or, Wall Street. They're trying to create FOMO before we get to a big level, which is this daily neckline that I drew, okay? So when I saw this, I was like, all right, game time. Usually when you see this, screaming into a new high near like a big confluence like this, you will get a massive retest of almost the entire thing. Because what they're doing is they're trying to get people in, and they suspend it and they drop it. So I'm gonna go frame by frame here and show you exactly how I did this. So was in the shower, just got off a shoot, and I started to see this happen right up into my level. And I was like, ooh, this could be fun. This could be fun. And so I started looking, and I waited, obviously, waited. I need to see that first, bull candle closing under the 10. So right about, let me find the candle. Where was it? I'll be honest, right about here, I was like, okay, well, this isn't technically below the 10, but if I drill in here, I see that we haven't cleared this little area right here. Okay. We're obviously getting downward pressure. Also, guys, at the top of a move, if you see a spinning top like this, that's usually a pretty good sign we're about to roll over, right? You get a rejection and then a spinning top. Pretty good sign. So honestly, I almost just got in right here, but I was like, no, don't step in front of a train. Wait. So then we get this. We get this candle, right? Now, this could really go either way, right? I mean, this a lot of you are like, oh, this is a bull flag. I know, but we are right here at this level I drew earlier, and I just saw a bunch of FOMO algo buying. Okay. So the algos did their thing, spinning top. Now this is humans. This is humans deciding if it wants to go higher, blah, 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 blah. So what I did was I set up a 10 EMA like this. I put my stop above that big neckline. So 6 points. This is a pretty tight trade. And my target's 1.3. I always do that. And I had a limit buy right here just in case we bounce right there, right? Because that is a level of support. But I turn on the 50. Now, the 50 is going to be my target. Okay? We obviously have support here as well. So I just got to keep these things in mind. So then, the next candle comes in. Don't quite get filled. Right there, I'm filled. Okay? I think I jumped in 3 contracts at this point. Okay? So I'm in 3. And actually, this was on MES, but I'm just going to show you guys on ES. Okay? So I'm in 3. I'm just going to go ahead and sell 3. Okay. Now, next candle comes in. Ooh, this is looking good now, right? But we do get a bounce off the 20. So I got to stay patient here. Next candle. Okay, now, this candle is concerning. It is. But it does kind of form a double top. All right? So at this point, if we take out this, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign for me at all. But what I love is that we came up, got rejected, and we didn't take out this little level either. So double top in play now. Boom. We come down. We immediately jump back up. Now, I think I added a couple more contracts down here. The replay doesn't let you do it, but I'm just going to add, I believe I added 1 more. Okay. So everything's still in play. I'm just chilling. This candle comes in, another hammer off the 20. Oh man, but I'm just like, you know what? This algo buying, I don't trust it. And we're near a big neckline, so I stay in. Next candle comes in. Guys, they will suspend price to let others get in before they dump it. Next candle. Another indecision candle, but I am getting a bear closing above the 10. Not a good sign. I don't want to see this get taken out or this get taken out. If that happens, we could scream higher. Next candle. Telling you guys, look out for these. They're real. You'll see them sometimes. Okay? I'm telling you. Now, fast forward to where are we right now? Okay. So, they coordinated that attack, and now we're going higher. Now, a lot of you might think like, oh, you just got lucky there, blah, 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 blah. But seriously, show me anywhere on the chart besides this where you had price action like that. And the reason I don't take this one is because it's trying to overtake another major high. This time, we didn't just overtake it, we blew through it into that level I already had drawn, that neckline on the daily. Chop around, suspend, you know, you do get the 10 EMA setting up. Multiple 10 EMAs, right? Hammer, 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 hammer. We take out these hammers, it's over, guys. This is a stop hunt. So what did they do? They bid it up, they suspended it, everyone got in, they dumped it. Just a real quick coordinated attack, quick gains for the major players out there. Does that make sense? Any questions on that? And you might be like, oh, well, Calvin, maybe they're doing it again right here. It's not as clean. See how this is just like green bar, green bar, green bar, just massive green bars. I mean, they are just running it up, guys. This is not retail. Retail doesn't trade like this. Retail trades like this. When you see this, something's up. Okay, these are big banks. This is ES, guys. This is the S&P. Do you know what it takes to make the S&P do that? Probably billions. Or maybe not billions, but like, I don't know, tens or hundreds of millions, right? To do that, that's insane. So, just keep that in mind when you guys are trading, that if you see that, do not trust it. Do not fall for the FOMO trap, okay? Now, let's talk about other stuff, unless you guys have questions on that. Also, guys, another, like, this, like, gap, I know this gap filled, but, like, come on, right? Come on. So, the next area of interest that I have for shorting will be at this downward trend line. I'll probably jump into some swings, honestly. But you could also day trade this. But this is going to be huge when we get up there. And if we throw on some moving averages, and I'll throw on the 50 as well, you'll see the 50 coincides almost perfectly with that. Perfectly. And ES does like to interact with the 50. It does. Did it back here, did it here. We got close here. This is more 10 and 20 EMA, probably interaction. We interacted there. Expect for it to probably interact here in some way. I think a nice short would be you get in right there, stop above this candle. If you've taken Tony's S-curve class, you know that this is the major, you know, lower high, right? Unless the bulls can close over this, not wick above it, close over it, bears still have a shot out here. Now, I understand that this has been pretty bullish, but we still got a lot of data to come out. We got CPI tomorrow. I think we've got another data set on Thursday. So anything can happen, and people will take profits at some point. So what I'm kind of hoping for personally is we come up, tap that, we come back down, retest the 100. I'll get in calls, and then it's time to go. But Calvin, what if you're wrong? What if it does this? Great. Then when it comes back and retests the downward trend line, I'll get in calls. Oh, but Calvin, what if it does this and you get in calls and you're losing? Guys, I'll average down on the 200 every day. Every day I'll do that. I'll buy 5 calls here and I'll buy 10 down here, or even just 5 and 5, right? Or 5, 5, right? You could do that too. You could be like, I'll buy 5 calls here, 5 when we retest these wicks, which it defended before, and then 10 down here. Guys, like, don't overcomplicate it. Like, just go off major signals. Don't, like, some of you've got, like, the EMAs, the SMAs, freaking RSI, and, like, you know, volume profile, and, like, all this stuff on your charts, and it's like, literally, you could just trade like this. Literally, you could just be like, well, it touched the 100, so I guess I'll jump in some longs. And you had to wait what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, and now you're already in the green. It's like, don't overcomplicate it. You know, the blue line is like your best friend, and this is your spouse, right? Your spouse is more important, but your best friend's still pretty important. Buy a little bit for your best friend, buy a lot for your spouse. Okay? Now, if you played NQ, honestly, even easier. And this is my paper trade account, guys. Sometimes I just leave positions like chilling. All right. But I did take this, by the way, in my real account, in my TradeStation account today. And I made $200 right before lunch. So on NQ, it's a little bit of a different story. We have broken that trend line, but we don't know how the day is going to end yet. There's an hour and 15 minutes left. This could turn into a nice little wick here. If that turns into a nice little wick, bears could still be in play. Okay? Now, NQ, in my opinion, was the easiest trade in the world. Last Monday, you got the touch of the 200, which was immediately defended, and then we came down and you got your double bottom. You got your double freaking bottom off the 200. What else do you want? Like, what else? I don't know. It's just gorgeous. You know, we didn't break this low, which I think on a weekly, yeah, that's your, so Tony rules, this right here, this is what the bulls have to defend. This is the higher low, right? So, guys, bulls are pretty much back in control. We're never out of control in the weekly. On the daily, we do have to get over this, in my opinion, because this is a head and shoulders, and this is the neckline. You guys see that, right? Okay. So we would have to get over this for a daily to get, juicy again. Now, you guys know I love anchored VWAP, so I'm going to draw that. Okay. That's another thing we got to get over. Okay. And I'm going to look at it on ES as well. So on ES, we are close to it. But we're not over it yet. We're not out of the woods yet, guys. Very likely that tomorrow CPI comes out and it's like, oh, groceries are still expensive. To there, right? Now, what would be considered extremely bullish? In my opinion, extremely bearish would be if we engulf today's entire candle. That would be very, very bearish. If we just retest half, I'm still pretty bullish. If we gap over this tomorrow and run, and then the next day close over that, right? Like, it's off to the races, guys. It's a new all-time high, probably. But you never know. We could just get the massive double top here. Some analysts have said that. Or I was reading this thing the other day where when this type of thing happens with the VIX, just a flash up, sometimes the market can be pretty turbulent after. And I'm trying to find an example of when that happened. Because COVID, that didn't happen. COVID was a nice, steady increase up. This, I would consider this kind of a flash up. So we'll go look at the 18th of February. This was kind of a flash up. So August 15 and Feb 18. Let's go look at Feb 18 first. February 18. Okay. So February 18 is right here. So let's just see what it did. Okay, we came down, we touched the major moving averages, we bounced. That's kind of what's happening now. Then there was a sell-off. We respected the 100. We came back up, tried to make a new high, and we came all the way back down to the 200. So how would that look if that happened now? Let's just play that out. Now we didn't get to the 200 on the SPY. But let's just play this out. Let's just say it does the exact same thing. So what I would expect then is we come up, we touch the 100, then we come up, we try, and then we come all the way back down here. Which at that point, you would have the 200 right there. So I kind of do think that could happen. I do. We're in an election year. It's kind of wild. Now, let's go look at, what was the other one? August. Was it August 2015? August 2015. Let me see if I can find this. Oh, yeah, there it is. Oh, no, that's not it. Here it is. August 2015. Okay, so just this dump out of nowhere. Now, on this time, interesting. Okay. Well, this time, the moving averages weren't really in play, but we came down. We had a big bounce. We came down one more time. Then we ran. So I do kind of think that can happen again. Except that time was a little different. So sorry, guys. This is like so far. Okay. So all I'm saying is I do think we can bounce and get one more somewhere in this area before we try to go higher. I'm expecting that. And at some point I will open puts. Guys, if you open puts right here and your stop is here, that's pretty much a free trade, right? Because you could just do like something like this. It's almost 3R. Like, why not try? Throw $500 on it. Like, you know what I mean? 500 to make 15. Do it. I'll do it. Marta. Well, Marta, you're an expert. Not me. I do tend to make coupled with chart and candle patterns. What a baller. Let's see here. Let's look at the Mag 7. Oh, Tesla. I love you. Guys, I've been in Tesla for a bit. So, I've been in this massive pyramid that I started back up here. So the pyramid I am in looks like this. It's huge. And I think my average is somewhere around like here. So if Tesla can like do one of these, oh, if we can fill this gap, I'll definitely make a few grand. But we'll see what happens. I just think Tesla, like, you know, I think it can do it. I really do. Because we took out this high, but did we close above it? No, we didn't. Oh, it's brutal. It's brutal. Whatever. I'm not going to think about it. I still think Tesla can come up into here. Jeremy thinks it's just going to take a while. Like, Jeremy thinks it's going to take like several months, but like we will eventually kind of fade up. So it's kind of what I'm banking on. You know, even if we want to play games, right? Like, the most messed up game it could play is like this, right? But I'll just probably buy more shares down here, to be honest. Or like leaps. Like, sometimes what I'll do, guys, this isn't really like taught very much, but what I'll do is, let's say I have a pyramid on Tesla. Okay. So let's say my pyramid is like what I just drew. It's that, okay? All right here, I'll buy shares. Like, all up in here I'm buying shares, but at the bottom, I'll buy leaps. Which is pretty cool. Because a lot of times I'll run out of cash buying shares here, and then I only have like a few thousand left, but I'll just buy a bunch of leaps down here, which are as good as shares in my opinion, right? If you're like barely out of the money and they're like a year out, it's the same thing as shares, let's be honest. So, what do you guys want me to look at? Oh, sorry, I'm a little yawny. I was up at 6 a.m. Oh my gosh, Nvidia, dude. I definitely bought Nvidia at 100. I'm just saying. Like when it got to here, right there, this support, like all up in here. Like I bought at 105, I bought at 100 because it's like a grandpa number. I bought at this support. So I think my average was like 98, and we're at 115, which is just beautiful. And we got earnings coming up at the end of the month, which we already know it's going to gap up. Like this thing just gaps up every time it has earnings. I mean, not every time, but I feel like recently it's just been like gap. This time it just kind of did whatever. This time it just kind of did whatever. But there's been some gaps. Gap here. I don't know. I think tech's the future, guys. Tech is the future. Marta, when are you going to get on one of these lives with me? I got to loop you in. We got to loop Marta in. Bye, Marta. All right, guys. So what do you want me to go over? I wasn't planning on being on here very long today, but you know, I do want to like give you guys some tips and tricks. So let's look at like ES real quick. Wrong ES. Wow. Crazy. Is this anchored VWAP? It is. This is my anchored VWAP. Getting close to it, guys. I do like to short off anchored VWAP. I think a cool pyramid, if I was going to go short, would be... Let me just throw all this back up real quick. I'm on the 4 hour right now. So we got a 4 hour right there. On the daily, we've got one right there. And then stop would be here. So like, I'd probably do a pyramid like that. And it has to, and this stop is kind of mental. It has to close above this. So I mean, guys, if this keeps pumping, I might open just one. So what I would do is this. I would do 2, 1, 1, just like that. And I would do it with MES because I'm not that rich. But I would do like that. 2, 1, 1. And then the hope is that it comes up, fills me, and then we come back down. We take a trip to the 100 again. Which if it filled me on 1, 2, if I got filled on 4, and let's say my average was here, and I came back down to the 100, that's 175 points. So 175 points times 4 times $5 a point. That's $3,500. It's a $3,500 win. And my stop is here, which is 65 points ish. So 65 times 4 times 5. Yeah, almost 3 to 1. It's like 2.5 to 1. And guys, futures is great because you get all that leverage, right? Like if you wanted to short SPY shares, you would need so much money. But you know, futures is leveraged and there's no Greeks. So you don't have to worry about like, you know, the options expiring and all that. Now futures do have expiration dates, but you know, just buy one that's like a couple months forward. So like, you know, if you come into the futures, you can buy right? So they're selling the Septembers right now. Okay. Just buy the Decembers if you're worried about it. Right? They look the same. So you can buy Septembers or you can buy Decembers. Just depends how long you want to hold it. Don't hold these things to expiration. They do settle in cash, and I promise you do not have enough money to buy as whatever it is you gotta buy. You know, the actual S&P. Like it's probably like 100 units of 5,500 or whatever, or maybe 10. I'm not exactly sure what it would settle in, but it settles in cash, and the broker's gonna be calling you like, yo, you don't got that in your account. I do have a TQQQ call, okay? The strike is 60, and I'm just gonna walk you through some scenarios here. So, I had 14 of them. I closed the majority of them yesterday here because I was scared that if data went bad today, we were gonna dump. But it went great. So, I think I closed like about half here, or maybe a little more, and then today I've just been closing them all the way up, but I still have one. Now, what am I going to do with that one? So I've got one TQQQ call, September 6th, strike 60. Okay, got one. My plan is just to hold this to expiration. So if it does this, you know, that one contract, just that one will probably make me like $1,000. But what I could also do, which is kind of fun, is let it get exercised. And then I have 100 shares of TQQQ right here, which in my opinion is a pretty good level to own it, right? Not bad. Because let's say this continues now, like, you know, later this year it goes up to 100, and I've got 100 shares at 60. That's $4,000. I'll be up, and then I can sell covered calls against it. I can sell covered calls. I can do callers, right? It's kind of nice having that. And correct me if I'm wrong, it does pay a dividend, so that's cool too. Guys, I don't know if you've watched like Jeremy's videos on volume, but another reason why this was such a good trade to buy is because usually when you get a nice volume spike, that does indicate a high or a low, right? It's like here, see this? See how this candle had this big spike and then we kind of rolled over? And then see how this one had a big spike and then we took off? So it's usually a good indicator. What does Jeremy say? Sell your peanuts when the circus is in town. So spikes indicate a circus. See how it's the biggest spike that determined the low right here? It's not always the case, but it does happen a lot. See this? Spike. Right? Look at this. Look at this spike. So just looking for big spikes out here. Here's a spike. Here's a spike. You know, so just keep that in mind. Volume, it really does tell a story. You know, it's just a lot of people getting in and out of a level. It means it's a level of importance. And those are always good levels to draw like anchored VWAP off of too. So let's say, we'll go back over to regular QQQ. So let's turn on the volume. Okay, you got a volume spike right there. So like this is a really prime candidate to draw the anchored VWAP. Now it's kind of hard to see. It's not really gone that far yet, but this would be a really good support now. So if we did pull back here, like it's great. Buy off that. Gotta look for confluence, guys. Confluence. Okay, so Did we make it there? Oh, so close. Let's see what's going on right now. Okay, we're getting some selling. You know, it's officially power hour has started. So I did think about closing my last TQQQ call, but I'm not going to. We just went over that. I'm just going to hold it and see if I get exercised. Let's look at some other tickers here. Apple back to 220. Oh my gosh, dude. This is the one that pisses me off. I don't really have a good excuse for you, but I was driving across the country, and when Apple got near these, I mean, this was the easiest trade in the world. Buy. You just buy it. You don't think about it. Now, I was talking to Giselle about this earlier. I'm eyeballing Ethereum. So let's go to Bitcoin first. If you look at Bitcoin, we got this gorgeous rejection. See that right there? We came up, we touched the 200, and we dropped almost 4,000 points, 3,000 points. Okay. And you got these two really close together. Ethereum has the same thing, just a little higher. So take these off. Those are anchored VWAPs, but same story, right? So when we come up into here, 3,000 is going to be a big level of resistance. That's a big whole number. It's also in a neckline. You even have a little bit of a neckline here, lower. So if I wanted to play this, I'd probably do something like that. So like high 20s all the way up to like 3,500. But the majority of it I would just pick up right here in the middle, right? And a lot of you are like, well, how do you short Ethereum? Well, there's a couple ways. So I'm not sure if the new ETFs are shortable yet. Don't quote me on that. I don't know if you can short these yet. Sometimes you can't short stuff right out the gate. But one way you can definitely do it is with MET, Micro Ethereum Futures, okay? So let me show you how I do this. Now, you'll see the moving averages are a little different on this one. It's because CME futures are not open on the weekend. So when you draw your levels, it's very important to do it on regular ETH, okay? So it's up here, the moving average is up here at 32, okay? So when you come back over here, just make sure you're shorting up here, because that's actually where the 200 is, okay? But what you could do is just kind of like, I'll just take these off so it's not confusing. But we know our level, like the 200-day moving average is right there around 32. So what I would do is I would probably sell like, I'll sell 10 of these right here. And guys, these aren't full ETHs, by the way. These are like 1/500th of an ETH. So let's just do our pyramid here. So I would do something like this. So I do like 10 there. I do like another, hold on, let me change this to 10. 10 here, 20 here, change that to 20. And I would do like 30 here. Okay. 10, 10, 20, 30. Fib numbers. Fibonacci numbers. So something like that, something like that. Now, you're going to end up with an average around here, okay? Your average will end up, if that entire pyramid fills, your average will always end up kind of in this quadrant of the triangle. So in order to calculate total risk, 30, 20, 60, 70. So 70. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get rid of these. And we're going to assume that my average ends up here. So I have 70 of these puppies right here. And then to calculate risk, I'm simply just going to pull a stop loss up to here. It's telling me my risk is 2,000. And my take profit, I don't know, maybe back down into these wicks, right? Because I could see this, right? We come up, tap this area, and we come back down and test these wicks one more time. So risk 2,000 to make 3,000. It's a 1.5 hour trade. I'm tired, Dick. I'm tired, guys. Quantum computing, dude, I don't even know, man. That shit's like wild. Do I use a 5-minute stop loss? Please touch on when do you move your stop loss? Like on a day trade? Squirrel Mom. It's a cool name. Well, if we're talking about this is Ethereum. These are futures on Ethereum. On a day trade, the question was, when do I move my stop? So I move my stop every 21 minutes. Like today, right? Let's give an example. So this is the strategy I teach. So if you're above the pink line, you're looking for longs only. So at the open, right? I don't trade the first hour, so I would wait till 10:30. So 10:30 rolls around. This is 10:30 right here. Okay. 10:30. That's 10:30. Now I'm waiting for the first bear candle to close above the 10. There it is. Where's my thing? Sorry, guys. So get in long there. My stop probably, it's got to be below at least 1 or 2 big bull candles. I'd probably put it there. 11 point stop. Either 9 or 11. That's fine. You can put it here. You can do like a 9-point stop. And then what I do is I target 1.3. So let's say I had I don't know, 5 of these. Right? I pick up 5. Right here, I'm gonna I can't think today. I'm going to sell the majority of them, but I'll always leave one runner. So the runner on a 5-minute, I'll wait till we close on the other side. So my runner, I would have closed right here, right? Because that's the, oh, actually, I'm sorry. My runner, I would have closed right here because that's the first candle to close on the other side of the 10 on the 5-minute. So it's pretty cool. The majority, 80% of your position you got out of here, but then that last little bit you got all the way up to there. Which, guys, that adds up. It does. And then in terms of moving my stop, it's every 21 minutes. So you just count every you count every 7 candles. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Stop moves up to like here. I just move it in 0.2 increments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now it goes to there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now it goes to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now it goes to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's all the way up there. I mean, guys, if it's all the way up there, like I know your stop's here, but you're also looking for that first close over the 10 on a 5-minute though. So I just would have gotten that right there. But if you don't get that close, then you are still moving this up every 21 minutes. 21 minutes, 21 minutes, 21 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Because eventually you will get like a crazy flash down like this. And when that happens, you just want to make sure you have a stop in place. Ooh, little 10 EMA setting up right now. What do we think about that? And is it happening off of a VWAP? Hold on. Let me confirm. Sorry. Let me go to MES. Oh my God, did it touch it? It did, guys. It touched a VWAP. And now we're getting a 10 EMA setup. Great trade. I would take this trade right now. If you guys want to take a trade, this is a great trade to take. So what you're going to do is you're going to set it up like that. Stop here. Target 1.3, which is all the way down here. Okay. That's a good trade in my opinion. Okay. It's a great trade. So if you want to take that trade, you would just get in, right? Your stop's up here. You can even put it a little higher above VWAP, a VWAP. And you're just gonna, be careful. See what's up. But I like this trade, and I'll pull up the 50. So the 50 is kind of close, which I don't like. Because this 50, you can see this 50 it was support over here. So if you just want to turn this into a scalp, I don't blame you, right? But if you're doing this on MES, I would open at least a few of these, right? Like you want to be in at least 3. And if it decides to come up here, you could add a few more, right? Just for the double top. But I'd say that's a good trade. So I would definitely take off one, at least one right here, just because the 50's right there. I'd take off another one near the bottom, near this hammer, and then I would just take off the rest, like down here, probably 2. I would take off 2 here, and then you could always leave like one runner down here, right? So we'll just play it with 5. Oops. So yeah, see what happens. Oh my gosh, I'm in long right now. It's hilarious. Hold on. It's supposed to be short, guys. There. That's better. But once again, I like this trade because we're going off a higher time frame signal. We're going off of the AVWAP of the daily. See it right there? Okay, that's why. Anyways, there's no guarantees, but you did get a little bit of a volume spike there too. Not as big as this one, but you got a little bit of a volume spike up here. I like that. You know, let's see if we get another bear candle closing under the 10. What's NQ doing? Oof, NQ looks gross. This looks like the better trade, to be honest. Because on this one, let me show you why. On this one, this whole thing is a double top, right? So, and then there's your 10 EMA, right? Right there. That's the 10 EMA setup. The only thing you got to watch out for is this right here. But I wouldn't be surprised if this drops into here, into this area, because guys, like today we just ran all day long, and we have more data coming out tomorrow. We have more data coming out tomorrow. A squirrel living in your house? That's cool. Anyways, yeah. And where is that anchored VWAP on NQ? Oh, that one's way up there. So we don't really have to worry about that right now, but yeah, last hour. I mean, we're gonna get some kind of movement. It's either gonna chop up here, or we're gonna get like a big pullback, or we break out again. But I think it's kind of done running for today. I don't think it's gonna run anymore. Because if we go to a daily on NQ and turn on the ATR, oh guys, I think our trade's working on MES. Let's look. Yeah, so MES is starting to roll over. Sorry, what was I doing? NQ. So in Q daily ATR is 500 points, and today we moved 450. So like